And today we've got learning how to fly and use our mystic sensibilities to surf change, even if the change is unexpected or potentially a little unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's a change that we decide in our heart and heart of hearts we need to do, but we've got some resistance to it. How do we uplift and allow ourselves to soar? Yeah.
Welcome to Mystic Revolution. Join Susana and Wendy for insightful conversations and guided meditations.
Hello, and welcome to Mystic Revolution. In this week's episode, we're going to talk about learning how to fly, navigating change. But before we get started, we always like to come together in a little meditation, get grounded and centered in ourselves. So I invite you to just take a nice deep breath. Close your beautiful eyes and turn inward. And of course, let your breath out. You don't have to hold your breath. And as you turn inward, take a moment to tune into your beautiful heart. Right there in the center of you. And imagine, tune into the idea of a beautiful ball of light, swirling and growing. And see if you can allow it just get big and bright. And if you like, you can tap into the energy of the sun above or the idea of any celestial body, your picture of the divine, and let that energy just come straight into you, straight through you, right into your heart, and just to feed and fuel that beautiful space within you. And then let's see if you can expand it out a little bit to come down into your core. And then from there, let's put down a grounding cord. Straight from that beautiful ball of light, down through your torso, down through your root chakra, down, down, down to the center of the earth, just like that, connecting with the heart of the earth. And let your own heart connect with the heart of the earth. And allow your body to feel that nurturing grace, that high vibration of earth energy. And know that you are safe, and know that you are loved, and that you can, for the next bit of time, just relax and take in the things that work for you and leave the rest behind. All right, take a nice deep breath in and out. And go ahead and open your eyes. And here we are back with beautiful Wendy out in the forest. Hi, Wendy.
Hello. So yes, I really want to talk about this Let's Fly. And so I'll just say that for me, I've noticed two important things about change. We live in a world of change, and it just keeps coming, as we know.
Yeah.
So the first one is, how do we navigate? How do we surf the waves of change? Because just like the waves in the ocean, they just keep coming. But can we surf them instead of being ground in and getting getting bloody on the sand?
Yeah, getting thrown against the rocks.
Oh my gosh, thrown against the rocks.
Or sucked down into the maelstrom.
Right?
Sorry.
All
We're
of
using
that.
the sea analogy. Yeah.
All of that. So, how do we ride the waves of change in ways that serve our life and serve our world.
Yes.
And it's a matter of something. The big thing that we're talking about in the next season is mastering our energy, being captain of our ship, that kind of thing. That we are intentional. We have attention and intention. We have choice, just like body surfing, which I love. I don't know about you guys, but I love body surfing, and it means I am fully present.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like taking a mental vacation as if I'm like on some pool sipping a drink, because then I go, head over tail, head over tea kettle, I like to say.
Mhm.
But actually paying attention to what's really here and where I really want to be doing, which is riding on that perfect part of the wave. Because when riding waves, if I do it too soon, doesn't work. Do it too late, doesn't work. So
Well, I think what you're saying, what you're saying makes so much sense, and that paying attention, because when there's so much change going on, and we have change in our own immediate lives, and then there's all the change that we hear about in the news, and these big waves of things that come in that we have to now pay
yes,
attention to. It's so easy to get caught and spiral out into fear, or this is what other people are saying we should be doing,
yeah,
um, or whatever it is. And turning inward, and this is again living from the inside out, being present to what is fully and completely in
mhm,
your realm, in your sphere. That's where the idea of mastering your energy begins.
yeah, yeah. And as we do this, there's a whole lot to it, which we can't get into in the show, right?
No,
Like, people can go behind the scenes with us, people can play with us, but as we build the muscle, as we go to the soul gym with these things and learn to do it and practice, build the muscle, then the next important step, there's two really important steps about change as far as I'm concerned. One is to be navigating or surfing what is, and
yep,
waiting and being and watching our timing and watching our form, and not getting hooked. And the second part is, okay, well, I live in a world of change. I'm going to choose the change.
yeah,
So I'm just going to use an easy example from the East Coast for me. I've actually done this. Like, if we sail out of New York Harbor, then I'm going to the Bahamas. But what if a hurricane starts coming? Well, then I tuck into Annapolis and wait. And then I don't just live in Annapolis. When the hurricane goes by, I come back out and I go down to the Bahamas. Or if it's going to be terrible for a while, take the inland passage. It's about intention. It's about choosing how we go. And yes, there's weather, and yes, there's stuff happens. Stuff always happens. Oh, the sail broke. Oh, it doesn't mean we all go home. It
no,
means patch it or limp in, get a new one, put it on, keep going. It's a lot about, and again, that captain of the ship. We're going to the Bahamas. We thought it would take weeks. It's going to take months. Too bad.
right.
And this, we transform ourselves and our world as we stay with this.
Yeah. And in staying the course, it's I think it's really imperative what you said about not getting hooked. Not getting hooked. There are the bigger waves of change that always bring smaller waves of change, that always then, impact the people around you who will have their own unique reaction to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so we're navigating a lot, but we can choose to get hooked by things or not. We can choose to make something a problem or not. And you and I talk a lot about problem energy versus what is the actual problem, right?
Yes.
there's the actual thing that happened, and then there's the drama and the emotionality that we add to things that can make something seem much bigger.
Yes.
And in the waves of constant change, I think it's really important to just sort of cut that part out. You save yourself so much grief and pain if you can learn how to unhook and know what to make matter and what not to make matter, which
Yes.
goes back to that discernment that we've been talking about, and that is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. And the soul gym where, at first it's, I like to say the easy stuff, we can let go of easy, and the impossible stuff takes a little longer, but as we really grow the muscles and the endurance on the inside, it gets easier to drop things that we never imagined that we could, to take the energy out of it. Not that we forget it, not that it didn't happen, but we de-energize it. So it's
Yeah.
not impending, impaling, uh, a pall over our day today.
Yeah, absolutely. The de-energizing of things is so important. And, again, going back to being present, what is in the moment. I mean, so much of what causes us a challenge in change is fear of the unknown, fear of what might happen next. And since we haven't been there, we can't fully see what's over the horizon. We
Yes.
get scared about it. And of course,
Yes.
we may spiral into whatever worst case scenarios. I had a friend who used to just always decide it was going to be the worst case scenario so they wouldn't get disappointed.
Yes.
um, but that actually adds more tumultuousness to the sea, more big waves, ups and downs. So
Mhm.
allowing ourselves to also de-energize the fear. So we talked a
Mhm.
little bit about that in a previous episode, but
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think about that in the context of this
I think fear
conversation?
is so important. And, of course, fear is the worst. That's
Fear of
really
fear.
fear
Yeah.
squared. But I I have learned, instead of being dominated by the fear, to see the pictures, to see the concerns. Oh, this could happen, that could happen. Oh, the sail could rip. Well, bring something to fix it.
Hmm.
Just being informed by the concerns and deal with it, and then drop the fear, drop the
Yeah.
worry. And I know that might seem like trivializing it. It's not. It can be done. Um,
Well, I
maybe
think
not today.
no, but like I think that some people think if they're in a state of fear and worry, it makes them more alert and uh, the ability to sort of sidestep it or deal with it if when it happens. And in my experience, it's just the opposite. The more present, centered, and sort of clear-minded you are,
Yes.
the more you can just sort of hold that pillar of strength. You act much more quickly. You
Mhm.
react in clarity and calm rather than emotionality or panic.
Yes. Yes.
And so and that's a practice that you can cultivate. And
Yeah.
again, like you said, it's not easy, but part of the mystic path is to also be in practice.
Yeah. To engage that gristy stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
it's la la la. Light, love, yum. It's that. And can we let that transform our lives? Not just like go there, la la, and then go back to our everyday life.
Hmm.
Can we let it uh can we let it shift our consciousness? And
Yes.
as we shift our consciousness, we shift, I think Einstein is said to have said, then the problem resolves, because it's from a certain consciousness. In this is a problem here, but when we're here, it's not a problem anymore.
Yeah,
It just resolves. And like, I know that sounds like magical. It is magical. It's wonderful.
it is kind of magical. And um, yeah, to have something simply through a shift of consciousness or being in that very present, alert, paying attention state, so much of what brings us tumult is just goes away. It's not
Goes
even
away.
there. It's
Right.
not even there.
Yeah.
And so that's, I'm not going to say it's the first step, but it's part of our ability, obviously, to honor what's going on. We aren't being oblivious or in denial about the fact that things are happening. I mean, chaos happens, waves happen, storms happen.
Yes.
And can we acknowledge it and deal with it in a very clear, intentional way? And I kind of like to think of it as um, allowing ourselves to kind of uplift above the fray a little bit, or find that sweet spot in the eye of the storm and move with it,
Yes.
or above it with in greater in a place of safety and stability and clarity.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything final about this? I know we could talk about this for literally weeks and weeks and weeks, but is there anything else you wanted to say, Susanna, about navigating change?
Mm, we could talk about it a lot. I think in this moment, I feel complete about this little discussion, and
Okay.
we'll certainly talk more about it in subsequent episodes for sure.
Yeah.
If you have any questions for us or comments, I mean, please make them below in the comment section. Send us an email. Join our community where we'll talk more deeply about all this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
great.
And on our way out, I just want to say, fear and invalidation together can make paranoia. And that's something, I mean, it's known to be cleared in the mystic path. It needs to be cleared as we transform. This whole default to something's going to get me. I'm not safe. So that I just want to say that is something that comes up and clears along with so many other things and
Yeah.
can transform our lives into being so much more comfortable and creative.
I really like that you brought in the word paranoia because it can get that way. It can get to that point. And, you know, uh, we live in a culture that I'm just going to say sort of feeds that.
Yeah.
And we have the ability to recognize that that's happening and choose not to play that game.
Yep. Yep. So
Yeah.
that we can just be dancing transformation.
There you go. We've
So,
got so many poetic metaphors going on. We're flying, we're riding the waves, we're dancing. Oh my God.
I know. So fun.
Oh man.
So, in the second half of this, about learning to fly. I wanted to talk about what I was thinking of as the binocular view.
Yeah.
How we dance the physical and the energetic or spiritual information.
Perfect.
Thank you, We Are Historically, for your conscious human apparel. Shop online at wearehistorically.com.
Hey everyone, just a friendly reminder that on the first Tuesday of every month, we hold a Mystic Revolution meditation, and you're invited. Just go to our website and you'll find the link. We look forward to seeing you then.
Raise your vibration and energize your life with specialized Fibonacci tuning forks that deepen meditations and empower self-healing. Get your vibrational sound tools for personal enhancement at energybodytuners.com.
Hi, we're back. And again, I'm Susana and this is Wendy. And we're talking about navigating change. And Wendy started sharing about the binocular view. Wendy, you want to continue on with that?
Yeah, I really believe that one of the wonderful parts, the the gift and also the challenge of living as a mystic is that we have the physical information, all the physical senses and such, and we also have all this energy information, what's
Mm.
going on in the spiritual world.
Mhm.
And both of them extremely rich. I mean, it's not like it's very multidimensional, and holding both can be really challenging. And some
Yes.
people are like, no, just science and materialism, shut up about the other stuff. And some people are like, no, just spiritual information. We're just love, shut up about the other stuff. And or whatever. And
Yeah.
I believe it's, can we marry this? Can we really hold all of the fabric of our physical and spiritual reality? That's
Yeah.
a challenge.
Can we hold all of the human experiences?
Yes.
All of them.
All of them. Can we
And
hold it? Yeah, go ahead.
no, it's just that's tough for some people.
Yes, it's not
And when we
easy.
say all of them, we're like, it's like all of them, right?
Yeah, and so, religion is a bit in a, and science, they're both in a, everybody's like in this, there's not one side that's like has the high ground. There's a lot of fighting about this.
Yes.
And I was caught in that for a long time. I was just like, wait, you know, uh my intellect says this, and my spirit, I was a mystic and I was an agnostic, and like, how do I do that? And it's turned out great because my intellect has stuff to say, but it doesn't understand spirit. That's easy enough. And spirit has things to say, but it's not always obvious that it's the reality here is different,
Yes.
and that's okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, the first part of it, I think you're identifying these two aspects, and they are all a part of every human, whether you lean more one way or another, whether it's expressed in one way or another in yourself. And we all have access to the 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 information in both areas if we choose to look at it.
Yes.
And in the life of a mystic, um, it's, I'm just going to say, the invitation is to look deeper, to listen more, to be present more, and to see how these systems work together. Because they are systems, and we keep them as separate systems. But when we allow them to naturally weave together,
Yes.
I mean, that's when the power really goes on, in my
Yes.
humble opinion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cooking with gas. Yes.
definitely. Definitely.
Yes.
And, um, you know, data and the science of it is absolutely important. But I am going to say that those who we consider like innovators and, uh, the people that discovered or created something, where did that start? It started in the imagination. It started with a feeling or an inkling
Or
or
a dream.
a
Or a
dream,
vision.
right?
Yep.
That was the spark.
Yeah. Yeah. Edison would fish without a hook. Edison would sit in his chair and hold the spoon. And then when he got into that liminal space, like where he's like almost asleep, it would drop, and he would bring the information that he got in that between the world space
Mm,
to his, I mean, these were overt continual practices
yeah,
that like
absolutely.
people know. They tell you at the Edison Museum.
Well, and then I mean, his contemporary Nikolai Tesla and the idea of drawing electricity from ether, from the
Mhm.
ether. And of course, we aren't, I mean, it's it requires an allowing of expansion that I'm just going to say we don't intentionally do that. We don't, our sort of structures of things don't intentionally foster that.
Mhm.
So as mystics, or as anyone, right? If we want that, we can have it, but it does have to be a choice.
Yes. And I just want to encourage, like, just this conversation, I think, is so helpful and important because our culture, a lot of our culture is telling us you have to choose a side.
Yeah.
And we're saying choose both sides and develop both wings of the bird so you can fly.
Yeah.
Or develop both eyes so you can have a binocular view. You can see in 3D, not just 2D.
Yeah.
No,
Or seeing 4D or 5D. And like
4D.
the thing
Yeah.
about it is, especially when we get into these sort of sticky topics where people are so vehement about which is the right side and which is the wrong side.
Mm-hmm.
If you can be in that binocular view, if you can have that view, the multidimensional view, whoa, it's fascinating to see all of the layers and all of the missed information and all of the missed
Yes.
opportunities for connection, for collaboration, for radical change, simply because I'm going to stick with my guns and just be in this little part,
Yes.
And that's, goes back to the why mystics matter now, because I feel, and I know you agree, like we need that kind of radical, out of the box,
Breakthrough thinking.
breakthrough thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to get it by, following the herd and being in our, in our rigid rules about what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm. And we're not going to be in it. Science doesn't give us answers about where or why we should go. Like that's a spiritual choice, I believe, that we make as captain
Yeah.
of our lives, where to go, what to do. And then science learns how everything goes, and technology helps us get there, but it can't give us those answers. And on the other hand, as I kind of talked about before, the spiritual information is awesome, but if we don't bring it into the world, our body, our life, our world, our relationships, our work, our play, it's just
Yeah.
dreaming. It's not
yeah.
real. It's not
Yeah.
realized.
It's not realized.
And so our opportunity is to bring heaven to earth, to bring the spiritual love, light, truth, beauty, glory here and embody it and then create it in our world. Yes.
Yeah.
And as we close, I just want to bring in a few like Christian things. Just
Okay.
a couple Christian things. One is that it blew my mind when I finally realized, like I read it over and over and I finally realized it's like Jesus prayed, he co-created with the divine, and then he did it right away. He's like, he prayed and then he did it, or he prayed and said, "Oh, disciples, go do this." It's kind of amazing to me. I just want to say that that's like we think, oh, like you want to do it like Jesus did it. Well, that's what Jesus did. He melded heaven with earth in his being and doing. And the other thing I want to say is that I don't have the percents. I don't remember so well because it was like 40 years ago when I heard this, but something like 2/3 of the Bible is visions and dreams.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all like law and shoulds, and it's like actual divine information informing people about how to live, how to break through, how to deal with their reality.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it applies and works outside of the Christian context. In fact,
Yeah.
I think what we're talking is sort of like overarching spiritual, I don't want to say
Paradigms.
spiritual laws, but right. Yeah.
Paradigms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paradigms.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Exactly. And it's
useful
like,
for everybody.
it's like, that applies to, I just think of any practices of ritual or of manifesting or of self-healing, and it is that, it's that tuning in, it's that connecting and allowing it to come into you, embodying it, to call it forth in this realm, right? Call it
And
forth
yeah,
in this realm,
and then act,
and then act. Absolutely.
not just sit there. Awesome, walk it out. Great.
Yeah.
Or in this case, fly.
Right. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great. And so, again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comments below. Join our community for more conversations like this and other fun mystic stuff. And we're just so grateful you're here. And so with that, I guess we'll close up with a little meditation. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and close your beautiful eyes again. And let's just take a nice deep breath in and exhale out. And if anything of this resonated with you or piqued your interest, or gave you any wave of emotion, just acknowledge it. And if you didn't resonate with any of it, or whatever you didn't resonate with, just let it go. Just let it go. And know that even if we don't always understand each other, even if we aren't on the exact same path or have the same exact belief system, we all matter. We're all here on this planet right now. We're all needed. You matter. Your thoughts and feelings matter. Your beliefs and ideas matter. And you have the ability to tune into that which calls you to fly and make it happen. And so we love you. We support you in that. Thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to seeing you next time.
And that concludes this portion of Mystic Revolution. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to get notified of new content. And don't forget to like and share. Join the Mystic Revolution. Click on the link in the description to get more information or visit themysticrevolution.com. Another creative art production by Retro Earth Studio.
So the idea of what we're talking about, I know that there are people that are thinking this way all over the world. And when we can find them and unite with them, wow, it can make such a difference.